Hello. Happy Saturday to everybody. We'll give it a minute for now so that people can get in here. Happy Saturday to everyone. I hope everyone is doing amazing, incredible, wonderful, spectacular on this beautiful Saturday. Thank you to anyone and everyone that joins me today. I am super grateful, especially on a Saturday. I know some of you have better things to do, but I am super grateful for anyone that stops by, even for a minute. Thank you for anyone and everyone that does come by. Join me for Natalie's book club, where I talk for 5 minutes and I read for 10 minutes while spreading positivity and gratitude. Today is the last day of May. So we've got lots of good fortune, positivity, happiness, and good wealth to put into the air for June for us. So in a few seconds, I'm going to set the timer for the first 5 minutes of talking. Hi, Lala Denise. I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for doing this and being my lovely leader today. 5 minutes. We're going to talk for 5 minutes and then we'll get into reading for the first 10 minutes. How is everybody doing today? Thank you so much for anyone who stops in on this Saturday. Join me for Natalie's book club, where I talk for 5 minutes and I read for 10 minutes. We are currently on my father's book, The Alley, by Mingo Rubio Jr., read by his daughter, Natalie Rubio. After we're done with this book, we will be going into Project 369, The Key to the Universe. Please remember, everybody, to bring a pen and paper and pencil and notebook or paper to start this, because we will be doing some activities. I have read this book a couple of times myself already, and the activities don't start right away, but we will be doing activities together from the jump. So, Lala Denise, I'm so glad to hear you are doing good. What are you up to this weekend? What are your plans? Hi, Lou. Hi, Aries Gaming. Aries. Thank you guys so much for being here and joining me. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Saturday so far. I really appreciate anyone that stops in. I know people want to go out and do other things, but I'm really grateful for you guys. If you don't get the opportunity to watch my entire live, please watch the last 5 minutes. I'll be doing my shout outs then, and you might want to watch it. Your aura is so positive. Thank you, Lou. I try my best. One of my favorite things to say is, the more you focus on the good, the better the good gets. I promise. I'm a testament to that. Thank you to anyone and everyone that jumps in here. Even for a minute, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hearts. I'm so grateful for you guys. I hope everyone is having a great Saturday so far. I'm sending you guys good, amazing, loving, wonderful vibes for a wonderful weekend. Like I said, today is the last day of May. So we've got lots of positivity, incredibleness, wealthiness to pour out into June for us, so that June is an amazing month for all of us. What is everybody up to today or tomorrow? Does anybody have any plans? I would love to send you guys some good vibes. Tomorrow for me is laundry day. Doing the laundry. I like to fold right out of the dryer, get it all together, and send it off to whose laundry it is. You Rustic says, you look like a character on a kid cartoon. Which cartoon? Lou says, do you have other socials too, or mostly on YouTube? I have Facebook, but it's really only for family. I really don't even get on there unless one of my family members has to check something out. But I don't have Instagram. I don't have Snapchat or anything. YouTube is where I stay for social media type of stuff. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the likes. Thank you guys for being here for Natalie's book club, where I talk for 5 minutes and I read for 10 minutes while spreading positivity and gratitude. We are currently on The Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. Next up, we are almost done with this, you guys. I feel not this live, but the next live, we will be done with this. We're going to move on to Project 369, The Key to the Universe. I would love for you guys to do this with me from the beginning to the end. There will be some journaling and some, I would say, gratitude journaling. So please remember to bring a paper or a notebook with a pen or a pencil as well. And remember, the more you focus on the good, the better the good gets. I promise. I hope everyone is having an incredible Saturday so far. It's hot here in Arizona. It is over 100. I think it was 110 degrees when we were heading out to do our nails. Got my nails done today. I'm fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Look at my toes, too. Just kidding, don't look at my toes. Look at my nails. They're fabulous. But I think it's a cute color for summer. On point. Thank you, Lou. If you guys don't get the opportunity to watch my whole live, please come back and watch the last 5 minutes or watch the recap, whatever works for you. I would really appreciate if you guys could at least see my shout outs, because I want you to know how grateful I am for each and every one of you, each and every one of my subscribers. I pray for you every day. I send you positivity, love, gratitude, happiness, respect, because we all deserve it, kindness, and wealth too, because who doesn't want more wealth? Hi, Richard. I am doing good. How are you? Thank you for joining me today. It is almost time to pick up where we left off. 10 minutes of reading up next. The Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. Get comfortable, guys. Might be nap time. Just kidding. That's a joke. Don't go to sleep on me, please. All right. 10 minutes. I will never forget to set the timer again. I promise. 10 minutes of reading The Alley. Let's get it, y'all. It looked like the opening was used to go in or out. The grate was bent, but the hinges weren't broken. Whatever used the place would return, no doubt. And if so, I didn't want to stay out there in the open. So I made my way to some sort of embankment. Then I noticed that it was a wooden dock or pier. I was kind of curious as to how far it actually went. I decided to get a closer look at it since I was there. The dock stretched over a small part of the pond. It looked awesome over the water in a strange way. The place became a death trap before too long. I could imagine how beautiful it was back in the day. I was standing on the edge of the wildlife preserve, something that had been well planned and revered. It was kind of crazy how fate threw you a nasty curve, but now abandoned and a place that people feared. With the moon shining, it was rather easy to see, as I was then heading back along the shoreline. Then I heard a noise, and I crouched to my knees. It was then I saw footprints, and they weren't mine. Suddenly, something hit the water with a big splash, and it sounded like something was being chased. Getting back to the grate was still a 50-yard dash. Something was coming. There was no time to waste. 50-yard dash. I'm not that fast. I quickly ran back to the stairs, back to the opening. Then I heard an awful screech and then a squeal. I wasn't waiting around to see what was happening. It sounded like something was looking for a meal. When I got inside, I closed the grate behind me. As I ran down the stairs, I just about fell on my ass. Then something opened the grate rather angrily. It made a grunting sound, and it was coming fast. When I got to the bottom, I was then made aware I wouldn't make it to the loft or back to the tunnel, because I saw something at the top of the stairs. I had to think fast, so I quickly dove into a runnel. To remain undetected, I had to stay submerged. I almost panicked when water went up my nose. As it came down the stairs, I almost lost my nerve. I thought to myself, this is really going to be close. It went right over me, and the damn thing was big. That was when I noticed that its vision was very poor. It carried something in its mouth. It was a wild pig. I was in awe. I had never seen a creature before. Then I remembered an old trick that I often used. I had used a small mirror when I played help tag. So I took it out of my pocket, trying not to move. Then I quietly covered myself with an old dirty rag. I lay there quietly and as still as I possibly could. The guys were still in the tunnel, hiding in the dark. They were in the shadows behind slats of wood. Then we heard a noise, sounded like a dog bark. It was running from something. It was out of sight. Then it made me wonder, what's it running from? I had to move. I didn't want to stay there all night. Besides, my booty and legs were getting numb. All the while, the creature started to chow down. I heard it tearing flesh and crunching on bones. Suddenly, it stopped eating. I didn't make a sound. Somehow, it must have sensed that I wasn't alone. It started walking around, just sniffing the hazy air. I couldn't move. I was trapped. I had no way out. Sooner or later, it would find me just lying there. Then it stopped to drink water from a water spout. Just then, it heard a noise that came from outside. Then it ran out quickly, but I waited till it was gone. My butt was so numb that I couldn't run, but I tried. I had to get out. It would be back before too long. I headed back to the tunnel where the others were. Then I saw the creature. It was coming back again. But there was something different about its fur. Then I thought, man, could there be two of them? I finally got up to the others and out of the hazy fog. Then we saw another creature coming into view. In its mouth, it had a small animal. It was a little dog. My suspicion about how many were there was true. I was overwhelmed at what I was witnessing there. You only read about things like that in a storybook. Those creatures had been written about for years. I later wondered if it was worth the risk that we took. The creatures began to eat their captured prey as we hid in the tunnel, trying to be still and quiet. Then Mr. Kim quietly said, "We must be on our way. If they see us, we might become part of their diet." As we made our move, he dropped his gun somehow, and it tumbled down and landed on the rocks below. The noise startled the creatures, then they growled. Suddenly, the room was filled with a horrifying echo. Mr. Kim said, "Get out of here and try to make it out. They're going to find us. It was just a matter of time." Mr. H said, "Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You're thinking of staying? Are you out of your mind?" Mr. Kim said, "I'm way too slow. I'll never make it. You guys go and I'll hold them off as long as I can." I said, "So this whole thing ends here? That's bullshit." I told Mr. H, "Get out of here and take this old man. If I don't distract them somehow, we'll all be caught." Mr. Kim said, "I'm not going to leave without you." I said, "We all know it's the only chance we've got. Both of you need to go. There's no time to argue." They reluctantly agreed, but before heading back, Mr. Kim said, "How will I know if you make it out okay?" I said, "You'll know. Now you had better make tracks. You stick around any longer, and you won't get away." I noticed that the creatures couldn't see too well. They had trouble focusing with all the haze around. Eventually, they'd find me with their sense of smell, and if I stayed here, the other guys would be found. I tried to make it outside to the other metal grate without being seen by the creatures, of course. I needed a diversion so the others could escape. One thing was for sure, I couldn't stay there anymore. I had to move rather quickly. I really had no choice. If not, they would find out where the others were at. They suddenly stopped when they heard a noise. The chamber then echoed with the sound of a cat. They just looked around. They seemed confused. Just then, I quietly reached down to pick up a stick. I threw it behind them, hoping they'd move, and in that split second, I'd have to move quick. I decided to hide in a spot that I had seen before, and hopefully I'd make it there without being seen. I'd have to climb about 15 feet, maybe more, and as I slowly made my way up, I kept meowing. A flurry of sounds echoed throughout the chamber as the creatures were frantically running around. I could hear them grunting and growling with anger, searching for whatever was making those sounds. Then I heard a noise. It was literally breathtaking. The creatures heard it as well, and away they went. It was all the racket that the boys were making, and I knew the creatures would pick up their scent. I had to get the creatures' attention and do it quickly. If not, the guys would be caught before they got out. So I quickly climbed down so they could see me. Then I threw rocks at them and I started to shout. My diversion worked. It stopped them in their tracks. They both saw me and started running my way. And when I got to the opening, I didn't look back. So I got outside and then I closed the metal grate. I quickly covered it with a lot of old rags and sticks. By no means did I think that would keep them inside. But once again, I would rely on one of my old tricks. If it worked, I would have a temporary place to hide. While open, the grate rested in an angled position, therefore leaving a gap between it and the ground. I'd crawl into that gap and hide from the opposition, hoping when the grate opened, I wouldn't be found. Well, that was my well thought of theorized plan. I actually thought about it when I came out before. Will it work when the moment of truth was then at hand? I could be crushed when they opened that metal door. As I got into position, I covered myself with debris. They were already at the gate from what I could tell. Then they hit the grate, opening it rather forcefully. The creatures bolted out as if escaping from hell. The grate flew open and landed right on my chest, along with the sticks and rags I threw on the grate. The creatures didn't see me under all that mess. I couldn't move. They were right there. I had to wait. And when one of them stood on top, I was surprised. I thought for sure they had found my hiding place. And as it looked around, I took notice of its eyes. Then I noticed human features on its hairy face. Then I remembered what Mr. Kim said about love. Was I willing to take a chance and go out on a limb? Was that creature my father standing right above? The eyes seemed so familiar. Could that be him? But what if it wasn't him and just my imagination? The creature would surely make a meal out of me. Do you think the creature is his dad? That's crazy, you guys. All right. Thank you for joining me for Natalie's Book Club, where I talk for 5 minutes and I read for 10 minutes. We are currently on the Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. Thank you all for the likes. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for my lovely leaders that are here. I really would like to say, please be respectful in the chat while I'm reading. I really can't see it, guys. So I would really just hope that you guys are respectful. If you're new here, we're all about positivity, happiness, and gratitude. If you're going to be weird, we will block you. So that's up to you. I'll leave the ball in your court for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this spectacular Saturday. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. Thank you, Lala Denise, for holding it down. Brian C., thank you for being here. Carl in Tennessee, thank you, thank you. Hi, Goodman Voyager. Thank you guys all for being here on this Saturday. What is everybody up to? I'm really grateful for you guys. Anyone that stops in, I say this all the time, but I mean it. Whether you stop in for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I am really grateful for you guys. I pray for you guys every day, and I send you happiness, love, positivity, respect, kindness, and as much wealth as I possibly can send you guys. I send you happy vibes every day. I promise. What is everybody up to this weekend? Let me know so that I can send you guys some extra good vibes. I would love to hear it. Whether you're going out and having fun or you're staying home and getting rest, I am thinking of you and I am praying for you. Is my internet connection bad? This happened to me one time before too. I had to restart my live. So anybody that's normally here or any of my subs, please let me know. I will restart the live if I have to. You guys know how it is. Lou says he's staying home and taking care of my dog, Rosie. I love that. You're a good dog parent. She hurt her leg. I'll send her good vibes too. I'm sure she loves you. Well, Carl, I know you're watching me. I know that much. I'm envious of your greenhouse. I can't wait to have our own. One day I will grow my own food because I feel like the world is poisoning everything that we eat lately. I'll keep my opinions about that to myself. I don't want to start any crazy things, but thank you guys for joining me. Lala Denise, are you still in here? Oh my gosh, you guys. Am I really going to have to restart this? If I restart this, are you guys going to come back though? Nah, I know you will. I'm just kidding. Dang, this sucks. I was in the same position yesterday or last time. And we've only done 10 minutes, you guys. All right. Lou thinks it's fine. Thank you, Lou, for answering my question. I appreciate it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Mr. Bryant, straight cutie, thank you. Okay, I will read for another 10 minutes. Please let me know if it's bad. If it's really bad, I'll restart it. Oh well, it happens. I know, because it's happened to me before. And I don't want to be choppy and crappy for you guys. It's a little pixelated. We're restarting right now. Forget it. Forget it. We're restarting. Thank you guys all so much for joining me for Natalie's Book Club, where I talk for 5 minutes and I read for 10 minutes. I'm going to stop this and I'm coming right back. So please don't go too far. I will be right back. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. And thank you, YouTube. I will be right back.